We have breaking news. This just in. We have limited edition t-shirts and hoodies available on the website, unofficiallounge.com. Get yours while they last. Everything's for sale. Like and subscribe. Now back to this episode.
The Unofficial Lounge with Ashante, Grayvon, and Monty. We're here to give you the insight into some of the biggest plays you remember, involving the people wearing the stripes. We look at the grit it takes to become an official while exploring the history of officiating with the people who made it. It's more than black and white. We did it. 2020's in the books. We made it through the first season. We talked to Ashante and Crayvon about what got them through COVID and just what it takes to do this.
It was a challenge, and I think too, what helped was the network of friends, you guys, Chuck, Ben, you know what I'm saying, just people like just checking in on your family, checking in, how you doing, what you doing today different.
In 2019, between camps, the spring football leagues, and the regular football season, and clinics and so on, I was away from home 36 weekends.
And as always, we bring back friend of the show, NFL's retired official, Chuck Stewart, number 62, and always looking for his pearls of wisdom.
To attain success and maintain status quo at home, the school, the kids, and all that. You got to find time for those things, but you got to fit this into it as well.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Unofficial Lounge. We're just going to close out today, this first season, episode 24, Mamba Mentality. And we are joined today by the friend of the show, Mr. Chuck Stewart. And we are going to close out this first season and give the people what they want.
Welcome. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm fine, man. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm great, man. Great to have you on the show. Wrap up the season. Yeah, tell me what you think of the show so far. What's your, you know what I'm saying? How did you feel we asked you to be a part of the show?
You know, I really think that you guys have done a good job with it. It's something
There's always a but, though, right, Chuck? Always a but.
Well, and you had enough intelligence and sense to bring me back. I gotta say it's a great show, man. You know? But no, I mean, you've done, from what I've heard, I've listened to all of them. Some of them get a little long, but I've listened to most of them. You've done a great job with it. You know, you've got some people who get some insight to some of the things that they've done that you normally wouldn't know about. You know, and I think it's been fine. It's good it's something that we need.
Got you.
So, Monty, let me ask you a question, Monty, because you are the only official on the show that pretty much your season has been guaranteed canceled from the last 6 months, right? I mean, that you kind of knew that it was not going to be a football season for you on the field this year. So what has kept you, going and excited about just officiating, period?
I can't talk about the real thing that keeps me excited. But I would say actually working on this show has been one of the things that have kept me going throughout this off season. Being able to talk football with football people, that's probably been the biggest thing.
And did you do enough Did you do enough kissing up of all the shows that your replay career is slowly advancing?
It is taking a step forward, yes, sir.
So when do you talk football with non-football people?
That's every day at my real job, at the Shoemash Casino. I'll give them a quick plug.
I hope they got a check in the mail.
They do. They pay him bi-weekly, however he gets paid.
That's right. So
I'm after Madonna Ian and all that stuff, man.
Goodness. Okay, so now, so the COVID season, I keep my circle small, but my circle still travels a little bit.
Okay.
We get up and down the Central Coast.
All right.
Anybody, if you ever want to get out here, this is the most beautiful place in all of California.
I beg to live with you, but I'll listen to you.
Hey, I got a little, I got a little bias. You know, what can I say?
Ashante, the noble one, the angry one, as we call you on the show. You're part of the SWAC. The SWAC is going here soon, but there's a limited number of games, so you still don't know if you're going to be able to work on the field or not. So what's been keeping you going during this COVID season, football related?
You know, Cravon, you bring up some valid points, and I want to address that first question you brought up about me being angry, and I'm not angry. I just have a definite way of how I express myself.
You could call it a difference of opinion.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So let's get that. But yeah, what kept me motivated is, like you said, we just continuing the off season, just watching video, watching football, able to watch games, and sitting back and just watching, being able to watch football, and just doing this podcast and just hearing people's story and sharing their experience, and then just getting the love back from people who did respond back to the show about the job we're doing. So, which is great, you know what I'm saying? So, and also we do have merchandise at the website.
Goodness, always
So,
be selling.
everything for sale. It just ain't on sale, but everything's for sale. So
Cravon, I would say one big thing about not working though is I did have a lot more time to watch a lot more games and pay attention to a lot more of the minutia that happens within a football game. Just little bitty things that most people don't see.
Well, let me ask you a question, Monte.
Yes, sir.
Monte, when you were looking at those games, do you look at them differently now that you're actually officiating and you didn't work this year than you did in the past? Are you watching what you would be looking at on the field while you're looking at the games on television?
I would say because of the replay, I've changed my perspective of what I'm watching. I've tried to understand more of the management of the game, of where the ball is, and where the cadence of what I would be saying if I'm in a replay booth. I've tried to start working on that.
Well, I'll tell you, and maybe this will help you a little bit.
Yes, sir.
There's two different things totally from being a replay and being an official on the field. Unfortunately, I didn't recognize that my first year. On the field, you have to make a decision in a second. That is not, that's good, that's not good. You can't do that in replay. In replay, you have to wait till you get the correct shot to show you what happened out there. You can't officiate in the replay booth. That hurt me bad tremendously my first year. You know, I was still thinking as an official in the replay booth, and I was making up my mind on the line feed. Well, hey, you got 6 more things coming in to see you. So you have to wait till you get all of them and then make your decision on what you're going to do. And that's a major difference. You know, on the field, you make a decision like that. In replay, you just wait till you get the right shot to make it the right, proper decision. And it was a major transition for me. I mean, I've been on the field for 40-something years.
Absolutely.
I go up in the booth, all of a sudden, now I got to wait. You know, that was my most difficult thing I did when I went up. I was still doing some officiating in the booth, and you can't do that.
Hey, Chuck, you're giving away too much, because people will pay top dollar. No, people pay top dollar to go to a camp to hear what you said, Chuck. You're giving the game away. So you're getting it for free on this podcast, but you can get the merchandise at the website.
Donations.
Is there a percentage?
Yeah, you'll get a percentage, Chuck.
Oh, okay.
It's called a bottle of Cognac XO.
Hey.
So let's help contribute to Chuck Fund.
You know, he drank
good.
Huh?
So yeah, got to sell a lot of
we
shirts.
do have to. Well, we do have. Ashante is being funny, but we do have to say a big thank you to everyone that has actually purchased shirts. Not only shirts, but cups, and it's been a fantastic thing to see the support that we've gotten to this point. I just we all had this thought that it might work, but it's actually working.
I knew it would work, bro. You know what I'm saying? I knew it would work. You know what I'm saying? I never doubted the personalities and how
I would say though it's working, but I didn't realize how much work was going to be involved to put this together. It has been my surprise of what we first thought about it, putting this podcast together. We thought it was just going to be us, you know, kind of clown around talking football, and boy, it's turning. We working. We got to research and be prepared.
You got to look these people up,
right?
And then the behind the scenes, I didn't think it was gonna last 5 episodes. You know what I'm saying? So, look where we at now.
That's where I agree with Great Bond. We got an angry man on our hands.
You know what I'm saying? Again, y'all see that's what y'all perpetuating that stereotype. You know what I'm saying? I'm a happy-go-lucky person.
I won't lie, I'm
difficult.
Well, you know, I'll kind of answer Cravon's question he said to Monty because this is my first year not being on an airplane every week.
Uh-huh.
It was quite different. I'll be quite honest with you. It was very different. Although I did not miss it, to be truthful with you. I mean, the first Sunday I was sitting at home looking at a ball game at 10 a.m. I kind of said, damn, I should be over there. And at 10:01, I totally forgot about it. I was happy where I was, not having to travel through 5 or 6 different airports every weekend, getting an Uber, going through there and everything with the COVID. You know, and I had my own little other personal issues that I had to attend to. And I actually found myself, I looked at all of the games I could for the Pac. I looked at other conference ball games, and I looked at the NFL games on Sunday. And then Mondays, I would start doing our game. Well, I was in front of this computer every day. And I was, be honest with you, I was zoomed out.
Right.
From into November. I really was. I mean, I was on a Zoom meeting at least 3 or 4 times a week. And from 7 o'clock Monday, and I just cut off at 5:30 every Friday. I mean, every evening, Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, you know, we have a 7 a.m. conference call. And Thursday I was off. Then Friday, we had 1 game on Fridays usually, and I was back to doing it. So I found myself, and luckily for me, I guess it kept me busy. You know, I didn't have time to say, oh, hell, I wish I missed this. I didn't have time to miss it. I kept myself involved in doing something else, you know.
You know what, Chuck, something I forgot to say too was, and what helped me also, when the season started, I was able to replay Chuck directly plays, and we would talk during the week about certain things. And it was because you wasn't on the field, you would seem more accessible and stuff like that, because I didn't mess with you when you were on the field about certain things. And now that you retired, I'm like, because I even asked you, like, Chuck, how you feel missing the fit, like you missing it the first week? You was like, man, I don't miss it. I'm enjoying it, and I'm sipping on some cold right now. So
exactly. You know, and I was able to, but I found myself, quite honestly, sitting in front of the TV set Saturdays, Sundays, and I would get phone calls from everybody in the world. All my friends in the NFL said, well, did you see this? I couldn't see everything. Although I had a Sunday ticket, I could see a lot of it. And I was seeing a lot, and I was nice most of the time. And then some of the ones I knew best, I would tell them, hey, you screwed that up. You know, and so it's probably a fault of mine, but whatever I see, I tell you about it. You know, I don't sugarcoat it. You know, I just tell you what I think. And, you know, I don't think that you're going to get it. You know, hey, you did okay. You know what? You said you did okay before you even called me. You know, so if you're going to take the time to call, I'm going to give you my opinion. You may not like it. You may not call the second time, but you're going to get it the first time.
but you know what, Chuck? I would say in the world of officiating, that's the one thing that I really appreciate, that I know if I call you up, even though, you are the godfather, you're a friend of mine, and so on. I know you're going to tell Craven, you missed it. And sometimes there's some beep, 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 beep with it, but I know I'm gonna get the truth. You're not just gonna sugarcoat something and just tell me something that I want to hear. You're gonna tell me, because we're trying to get better, right? And that's the only way to get better, is somebody can point out and be honest with you, and let you know that, hey, you may got that one right, but Don't call that shit again.
Exactly.
Also,
Go ahead.
also, I want to know. I know it's a lot. It was a lot of officials who wasn't working, and what you said, Chuck. How did they watch the game? It was most of the time that they were trying to find something wrong with what the person on the field did, as opposed to watching the game and trying to get better.
Well, that's the nature of the beast of the fraternity that we have.
Yeah.
I always, when someone would tell me about somebody screwed this play up, I would look at it. But I would look at it from my own advantage to say, if I was on the field, what would I have done where I would not have screwed that up like he did? But it's too many of us that look at it and say, Chuck screwed that up there, and they want to tell everybody in the world that you screwed it up. But instead of trying to learn from it, and if you see somebody make a mistake, look at it and then put yourself in that same situation. What would I have done that I wouldn't have made the mistake that he did? And that's the most important thing in the world to me.
So, Chuck, let me ask you a question. By you being the supervisor in the Pac-12 and been doing it now for a few years, because of COVID, was the interaction between the officials that you supervise and that you communicate with on a weekly basis different this year because of COVID than it was in the past for you?
Without a doubt. First off, I was probably more concerned about every individual that was working for me, their health and safety. You can't, there's no way that you can tell me that we were 100% safe being out there on the football field without a mask on and run up down the sideline. I don't give a darn what anybody, if they tell you when you're out in the public, put on a mask. Well, hell, what more public you gonna be in out there, but you got 22 ball players and 50 on the sideline and 8 coaches. But you don't have to wear a mask then. You don't have to wear a mask when you're around them all the time. I was concerned about that.
Sitting in the valley.
Excuse me?
I said sitting in the valley, basically a stadium.
Exactly. But I think that everybody that went out there and worked this year, I take my hat off to them. Because quite frankly, a lot of people have their own kids they got to come home to. You may have a parent that you be around or a godfather or something like that you're going to be around. You got to think of those people as well. You've been out there in this whole world with 100 college students. Well, the college student, what they're going to be doing, But yeah, I take my hat off to every individual that worked this year. And it was a difference to train and have people do it because I was never on site with anyone. So I had to take the opportunity to try to go through and get my point across, how much I appreciated what they were doing. And it's continue to stay safe, but you got to do this to continue doing that. And I had to get that work that into where I was doing with my, with my study sessions and personal phone calls to everybody. It was a challenge, but like I said, those that actually were out there at work, I take my hat off to you because it was something that this is a year like no other I ever envisioned and been around in my lifetime.
Yeah, this was a crazy year, Chuck, and I know you've been older, so you said you never experienced anything like this. So,
Well, you younger, you never experienced anything like this either, had you?
Nah, I didn't. I heard about stuff. You see about stuff like this in a movie, and you don't think it's gonna continue, and it was never ending.
Well, but it's different though. So when my daughter was born, it was H1N1, and basically the only real change I saw at that time was within the hospital. Only 2 people could come to the hospital at a time. It wasn't that people stay away and stay in your house and hunker down. Man, this one is different.
Oh yeah.
But then you go on an airplane and go fly across the nation to do a football game.
Right. And get the chance of coming back sick as a dog.
Yeah.
Or get to the other city in the airport and turn your phone on and find out your game been canceled and you turn right back around, get on another plane and come back home. Yeah. I mean, it's so,
and it was crazy though. Like you said, when the season started, we didn't have any expectations about where it was going. So how was it for you two, Chuck, you, Cravon, and Chuck, that once the Pac once the dominoes started falling of you guys getting ready for a season, how was that preparation for you guys? Because that went kind of fast. Y'all had like 6 weeks to get ready.
We really didn't have that long to get ready.
Right.
It looked like it was some of them officials. They didn't look like they took their time, but you know.
Well, a lot of officials didn't get. You have to realize that I don't care who you are, the spring practices, the spring games, they get you ready to go out there and do a regular football, just like the kids out there practicing every day. You practicing as well.
Absolutely.
And you go out there, your first day is a game on national television. That's a little bit different. We can prepare all we want to sitting there on this Zoom, but you got to get out there and actually do what we put in prepare for on this Zoom. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Well, especially the mechanics and everything, because you figure everybody's wearing masks and everything. How you gonna blow the whistle? What are you gonna do? Like that changed the timing. I think that changed a little bit of the timing of the games and everything, because there's a pause and everything.
Well, I think we had opportunity to work through that. They gave us an electronic whistle, and some of them worked with it and tried it. You know, it didn't work as well as they thought it was going to do, but it was a safety factor.
Yep.
Because I know me and Monty was able to work a scrimmage, and we went out again working a scrimmage, and I know when I first tried to blow that electronic whistle, I was like, okay. It took a minute for me to understand it, and I know Monty had a situation with the whistle. So, and it
was no situation.
He had a situation.
Those electronic whistles was tough to get used to, because you're so used to on a line of scrimmage, which, you know, all of us work. You do so much with your hands to where now you have this electronic whistle in your hand always. But when Chuck was talking about it earlier, you know, being on the field, there was a lot of officials that started going back to their regular whistle and pulling their mask up and down. Well, I felt differently. I left my mask on the whole entire time. So the handful of games that I had, I only used my electronic whistle. Even though it wasn't as loud as the regular whistle, I just didn't feel comfortable running around out there, especially by us being on a line of scrimmage and on the sideline. We have 85 players and coaches standing right behind us. Yes. So I kept my mask on the whole entire time, because at the college level, they really didn't enforce the players to keep the mask on while they were on the sideline. So the yes, but the players, no.
They didn't do that with the NFL until they started getting infectious.
Right. Right.
But some people found that they could still use their regular whistle and leave it inside the mask that they had on. Some people were able to do that. You know.
Yeah, it was.
When I did a few game scrimmages, and I found that it went back to kind of the old school Pop Warner of the play kills itself. The whistle doesn't kill anything, and you just got.
That has always been the fact.
You got to have a presence to shut things down. You don't need a whistle to shut it down; just your presence does.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but the problem with that, money, is that you have so many coaches these days will tell their kids to play until you hear the whistle.
Sure.
You know, and if you don't have a whistle, I tried to avoid using my whistle as often as I possibly could, because I didn't want to have an inadvertent whistle. Absolutely. And I'm of the old school that the play kills itself. I never killed the play. But when they continue to try to get yardage and then hit the other defenders keep coming in, now you got to do something about that.
Sure.
You know, so there's a time to use it and there's a time when you don't. You know, if they're engaged, you have to make up your mind. You know, but you can use your voice a lot of times as well.
But Ashanti, you was right with you were right with your question when it was tough, because for a minute there, we all thought we were all set and go. They had, you know, first, you know, we would think we were going to power through the COVID and it was going to be a regular season. Then it came back and they were just going to do conference only. And so they set out a whole schedule for conference only. And then that got scrapped. And then we had to wait, you know, all the other conferences started. So you have the ACC, SEC going. We're sitting at home, not even know if, we're not even going to know if we're going to go. And then bam, it was
Mr.
like,
Creams
okay.
on Instacart.
Yeah, bam. Yeah, exactly. Bam. It's time to roll in 3 weeks. You back out there, and you ready.
You watching
to roll.
the SEC and ACC going? You like, hold up, they still eating. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Cream.
What made us go on the West Coast was when the Big Ten went.
Big
Ten. Big Ten doesn't play. We wouldn't have played.
Yeah, y'all wouldn't have
But
came.
we could not have been the only Power 5 conference in the nation and don't play.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what made our doctors any smarter than the doctors they had other places? It was. We're glad to have gotten over with and put behind us.
Right.
We had bowl game council.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. I was a part of that.
Yeah.
I was a part of that. Found out on my layover in Dallas that the game in Houston was canceled. Right.
Yeah.
That sounds like one of them good problems.
To help get everybody through this, how do you guys feel about the vaccine? Anyone planning on taking it?
I've taken it.
As soon as it's available to me.
When they were first talking about it, money, I said, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait to see what it's like.
Sure.
And if other people get it, how they react to it. After I read about it a little bit, and they said that after you take your first shot, in 2 weeks, you're 50% immune.
Sure.
After you get your second shot in 2 weeks, you're 95%. Well, hell, 5% is better than no percent, man.
Absolutely.
And so it took a rocket scientist to figure out, hey, I was in line to get that shot, brother.
Okay. Fantastic.
Man, Chuck drove like 8 counties. Yeah, Chuck drove 8 counties over to get his shot.
I did.
So, hey, it's better to get it when it's limited edition, when it's mass produced. Hey, that's on you. So, but yeah, I'm in line.
However, it hasn't changed my lifestyle at all. I still wear my mask. I don't go anywhere. Not until we get back down to somewhat normal. And I figure, maybe May or June, we may be a little bit better off, and I feel a little bit better going out and doing things.
Good.
But I haven't seen an airport.
You ain't getting on no plane though, right, Chuck?
No. Now,
hey, hopefully by the middle of May we can all go out to Houston and go to Eddie's camp.
Papa Do's.
Go to Papa Do's.
That is a strong possibility. He's thinking seriously about doing that. And they can pull it off, like I said, but I'll be with my mask.
Absolutely.
Hey man,
Absolutely.
Texas never shut down. So
I understand that.
Texas and Atlanta, Georgia never shut down. They was wide open. So
but common sense,
right.
Common sense is gonna rule everything around here. Get the vaccine, y'all.
I got a question. I got a question for each one of y'all. Y'all can answer individually. So which one of the guests that surprised you guys that we were able to talk to?
My surprise guest, thanks to Chuck for hooking us up, was Brian Boston. That was my surprise. Able to get him because you just don't see Byron, talking that much. He's a great official, great guy, but you just don't see him that much other than when you go to camps and stuff. So being able to get him on the show was definitely a surprise and an absolute pleasure to sit back and talk with him for a while.
Got you.
I think mine still has to be the old head coach of Fresno State football, buddy.
Oh, here we go. You can't be kissing up to your alma mater. Like, come on.
But I think it took us a little bit. It expanded what we're doing, and I think it took us in a route that just let everybody know that it's not just about officials. We're just talking about sports. Like, we're just sports people. It's not just officiating.
I disagree, Monty. You weren't feeling that way when it took Cravon like 8 tries to get the man's name right. You know what I'm saying? we only put one on the podcast, but when he said the burger, he was like, hold up, Cravon, let's stop.
So there will be a clip show that comes out with that one. Oh my goodness!
You were like Dr. Dre with Detox. Hold up, cut. We're not putting it. Now for me, what about you, Chuck? Who was up? Some of the people you were surprised?
Surprised that you talked to?
Yeah.
Well, none of them was a surprise.
Got you.
I was glad that you got the amount of people that you did get on there, and how open that they were. That was the biggest surprise. That people were kind of open and told the truth. Is what I heard.
Yeah, we had to shut a couple people down. Hey, slow down. You know we're recording.
Yeah, that's why you got to put, you got the button there.
We can't tell Chuck we had to edit him now. Come on.
I know.
You know what? For me, I would say everyone because, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I was surprised that, so we were able to talk to them and everybody enjoyed themselves. So for me, I enjoyed everybody on the show. I was surprised to get anybody from DJ,
absolutely,
David Coleman, Dean Blandino, Steve Strimlin, Frank Villar,
Francisco,
Justin.
Francisco,
my bad. His mama named him Francisco, so we're gonna call him Francisco, especially Brian Boston and Maya. She was pleasurable. She got done up. If people don't know, she went and did herself right just for the podcast. She thought she was gonna be on TV. How she came across. So, I was like, hold up,
Everyone, that is true. On YouTube, we do put the under reviews on YouTube, so we do ask people to spruce up a little bit.
And the Rule 11 guys, they was shocked. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. And I got another one for people who don't understand. Although we don't talk about rules, we are knowledgeable in the rule book. We do take this seriously when we on the field. So that's something we don't play with. Chuck won't allow us. Chuck will not be in our presence if we didn't understand the rules and the concept and how to officiate a game. So we do take that seriously. So,
or at least that we want to get better, right, Chuck?
The job of an official is to make sure that nobody else gets an advantage or takes advantage of the rule. Well, if you don't know the rule, you can't officiate it. So you have to also understand what was how do I want to put this nicely? What had an effect upon the play? There's a rule, there's a holding that is on every single play.
Absolutely.
Actually, I was at a training camp my first year, and I was never heard a coach say this, but he told us, hold every time. If he calls it 1 out of 10 times, you got away with it 9 times. But we have to know what foul had something to do with that play. If it had nothing to do with no result of the play, there's no advantage game. But you have to know the rule before you can determine that. So, and it took me a while to learn. I'll tell you this. When I was taking my tests in college, high school, all my questions were true and false. I went back to the NFL first clinic I had, and the questions were 2 paragraphs long. You had to answer A1 and 10. I didn't even know who A and B were.
Right.
So we had offensive defense.
Right.
And so I was really, I really struggled with that, and I didn't understand it. And they talked about keys. I had never heard a word key in my life on a football field. My keys open my house, or they open up the car door. But other than that, I didn't know. And they had a little skit with the person I really admired was Leo Miles back there. We was in the room, and Leo was knocking on the door. And actually, I was going to get up and answer the door for him, but nobody else was moving. And I was told, sit down, young blood. He got to have his keys. Finally, they let him in, and that was the skit, which I wasn't aware of.
Right.
To show you to lead into what you need your keys to do. And they've changed the word a little bit now, your area of responsibility, but it's still your keys.
Still your keys.
And you know the rules, you know the keys, and how to put yourself in the right spot to apply the rules. That's most important.
See, Chuck, you hit them with some rule stuff, so we gotta let them know what keys meant. You know what I'm saying? You guys, you football officials, for the football illiterate.
You asking me to do
Monty,
that?
you do it.
No,
let Monty do it.
So your keys are before the snap. So there's pre-snap.
Not in your pocket.
Not in your pocket. Because if they're in your pocket, you ain't looking in the right spot. So
if they're in your pocket, you don't get all the calls wrong.
There are pre-snap keys, and then there are keys that transfer to a zone of responsibility, especially on a pass play. And before that snap, everyone is looking at someone, and on the line of scrimmage, it's more than someone. It's usually someone and a man in motion, or someone and 2 people shifting. So keys are very important because at the snap of the ball,
It's what you're watching.
There's a switch. And that
Yeah.
switch is, if it's a pass play, where is your next set of responsibilities? And if you don't know that next set of responsibilities, of which everyone working football in the beginning did not know, and I am one that did not know it and really did not know how to apply it.
You're gonna be a good Pop Warner official.
You will stay a good Pop Warner official.
Now you know, Ashante, by you asking Monty to explain that, you done made his day. Because he's the only one on the show that's always looking to talk about mechanics and rules. So you made
That's why I asked
him.
That's why I asked him. He been trying to do He been trying to do that for 24 interviews about breaking it up.
Y'all are mess.
Right? And Chuck, you the only one. We shut everybody else down. I would interrupt anybody, Chuck, when they started talking about key, but I let you go because I know you eventually watch my film and I call you. So I don't want it, because Chuck, when you do talk to Chuck about football, he plays no game. He wants to let you know what you're looking at and what you should be watching. And if you don't understand those two concepts, you can get off his damn phone. So
That's right. That's right.
So,
You know, I have a different appreciation. Trayvon and I are working with from first year high school officials. I don't know how the hell we ever did 3- and 4-man mechanics.
Oh yeah, look at everything.
You know, how do you do that?
That doesn't make sense anymore. I'm
Not at all.
terrible at it.
You know, but we did it, and it was simple. You know, and when I got four officials to fill with me, oh, I was in hog heaven. Now if you have 8, you don't know what the hell to do.
Right. I was just about to say that, Chuck. I thought going to 8, it was like, oh man, 8 is, we gonna be da da da. Now it's like, ooh, to go back to 7 or 6, it's like, oh man, no thank you. Let me stay at 8. I don't have to worry about that tackle Chuck. As much.
Crayvon fronting, Chuck, because he done stole some 5-man and some 7-on-7, 2-man mechanic ball,
Well, when you talk about that, Ashante, the funny thing is I wouldn't say everybody, but majority of the officials that we have been able to interview, when we talk to all of them and ask them what got them started, was going out there to get those extra checks. Pop Warner High School, it was for the money. They was going out there to get that money,
get the change,
right? And we even heard from people that was on the NFL. Still going out there on Mondays and Tuesdays, getting that lower level ball check back in the day.
Or doing flag football.
Right, or doing flag football.
Yeah, I think we're talking about
I'll be honest with you. My first couple of years in college, I would get off the airplane and go and work a Pop Warner game on Sundays at Hawthorne High School or somewhere, near the airport. And that's how I made it, and people will tell you this today and they're a damn lie. They'll tell you, I work for the good of the game. You don't have a check, how much good of the game you're going to be out there doing? Everybody works for a paycheck, so right. I hear people tell me, oh yeah, I love the game. I don't love nothing that I don't get paid to do, and
but wouldn't you say, Chuck, too? Wouldn't you say, too, Chuck, though, I think where some officials today start moving up and stop doing the lower level stuff, they get into JC ball, then they all of a sudden stop doing the lower level stuff. That was the advantage for you coming up and myself to keep working all in all, because you got more snaps. So you got more experience of just seeing more and more football each and every, as many games as we possibly could.
But you see, I tell you a difference. You'll find people now that are in their 4th year and they think they can do the Super Bowl Sunday. They haven't put in the time or prep for it, but they feel that they can go and do that right away. And the work, a lower level game now is beneath them. I never thought of it in the area of, which is another thing that as I got older, I thought about it. But when I was doing it, I didn't think that I was taking games away from anybody else. I was going out there working and trying to better my craft. Really, They thought I'd take the game
Hold
away
up,
from them.
Chuck.
They should have worked hard and got where I was. But, you know, I didn't. I just was going out. I did as many games as I could to get as many steps as I could to learn how to be a better official. Because in my time, I'll be honest with you fellas, there was only a few of us working. And nobody wanted to help us. And you've heard the old saying about people in a crab in a barrel. The other brothers would do their best to tear you down to get themselves up there. No one brought somebody else along. Everybody was for themselves. But there was only a handful of us. You know, hey, I'll be the first to admit, I did 10 CIF championship ball games in a row. But I was the chosen brother. You know, I would be telling you a lie if I was lucky to be that chosen brother. You know, now I think if you do that, if you do 2 in a row, you know, give somebody else a chance. But I never said I'm not going to work it. Every time they assigned me, I went out there and worked.
How many you turn back, Chuck? Out of
I don't think I turned back anything other than Pop Warner. And when they had the riots, I turned them back. But other than that, I worked every time I could, man. No matter where it was, I worked.
Okay. Oh, I forgot another one. I want to bring up Wilbur Hackett and Jerry Davis. That's also people I never expected.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you see what you do is you get a different perspective from people in the South. Because they're going to tell you some things that we haven't encountered them. We've had them, but we didn't know how to encounter them like they did there.
Not that way. No way.
You know, so that's a little bit different. And you get the perspective of what goes on there. With me traveling all around and talking with other people that did what they have gone through, I know about it now. You know, but I didn't know about all that. You know, I knew nothing. When I was growing up, I would see things on television, but I never really saw them in person. Because we knew where we would go. We didn't feel comfortable going to this. We didn't go.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, and out here, I never was told, you know, I'm not going to serve you. I encountered that when I went off in school, but I didn't encounter that when I was in my own environment. You know, I knew where to go. I didn't want to go over there. I wanted to go down the corner, get me a burger on the corner. I didn't want to go someplace else. You know, maybe I knew my place. But, you know, and traveling around, I've encountered some things where, you know, wasn't as comfortable as they could have been. You know, but I think that I got over that. It didn't bother me.
You fly first.
Excuse me?
You fly first class now, Chuck, so you got over it real well. You know what I'm saying?
I have always gone first class. You know, hey, I was in the back of that bus many times, man.
Yeah, but you let them know now. When I walk by you, like, hey, you don't speak when people walk by you in first class that you know, Chuck. So
do you guys think, the three of you, do you guys think with what we did, there are a couple people out there that may have learned a few things of more of the management of your lifestyle and how to deal with people, not just only the football aspect, but how to actually deal with supervisors, how to deal with people grading you, how to deal with going to camps and having someone really get into your butt?
I'll let the others answer that, then I'll do it.
Why you bring up camps? You know how Craven feel about camps. Right? Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying?
Do you think we helped the people out there?
We gave them insight, but you know what I'm saying? It's up to them because how we put it in a manner, even when we talk to the group, it's like you get what you put into it. You know what I'm saying? So if, like David Ross said, he went to his first camp not expecting. You go to, and I forgot my man Scott Teifer. When you talk about your first camp, you got to know what you're trying to get out of it. Now I know going to my 5th or 6th camp, okay, what am I trying to get out of this camp? Who do I need to put myself in front of to get better? When you first go, you just want to make sure you impress the right people. And most people are not doing that correctly because they're trying too hard. Like Chuck said, this is my first year officiating, and I deserve to be in the Super Bowl. So now you're coming across as this young. Just be humble is what I would say.
All right, Kendrick.
In the game of be humble.
I would also say on top of that, I agree with Shante 100% everything you just said. But on top of that, I hope, Monty, that people listening will see how important family is, and talking about not just the stuff on the field that we've talked about, or pursuing your career just on the field. It's a whole lot to do with off the field, and how football officiating has brought a whole new family into most of us that's been around for a while into our lives. I mean, I consider a lot of people that I learned from football are family. I keep up with them. I check on them. They check on me, not just because of football, but because we have become family, and how important our true family is to really making this career work. If you want to be a career, or if you just want it to be just a little hobby. Because if you have, I think 2019, I think I was gone, and we talked to episode we haven't released yet, but we talked to Matt Jordan. He said he was gone from home like something like 30 some weeks.
30 something, yeah. 30,
yeah.
30,
30,
So
32.
in 2019, between camps, the spring football leagues, and the regular football season, and clinics and so on, I was away from home 36 weekends. 36 weekends I was away from home. I love my wife to death, and I think it's been a good thing that I'm gone to, because, that's always
Absent
great.
makes the heart grow fonder.
Exactly.
But it's called, he got a check. Hold up. What I'm telling people, he got a check. So it's a difference when you coming home with a check instead of coming home with the milk. You know what I'm saying?
No, but it's true. But they all have, my parents, my wife, my kids have all sacrificed it where it became checks. Prior to that, we were gone because we meeting on weekends or whatever the case may be, still doing those things. But just imagine being away 36 weekends out the year. You got to have people that have your back, that support what you do, because we still going to come back and go to work Monday through Friday or whatever our job takes. So there's a lot of sacrifice our family puts in. So I hope people listening to the podcast also saw that it's not about all of what we do on the field. It's more about what we do off the field that makes this go to where you really enjoy what you do and you really see the benefits of it.
Absolutely. So
another thing
I'd say, well, hold on. I'd say the thing that changed for me this year was the mentorship of being of me taking it upon myself to send.
You're welcome.
to send. I would be watching random games and see something and send Chuck a text and a video, 30 seconds of, hey, what do you think about this? And to know that I hope this is something that people learn, that the kind of field of life, the mentorship of these people that are out here, that they will answer your calls and your texts. But you have to make that effort and reach out. And make sure it's a decent question. It ain't got to be the best, but make sure it's a decent question. Right, Chuck?
So I would say this, Monty. They can hit us up on our social media platforms. They actually got questions that they want us to look at about football plays, right?
Hey, if you want to ask us any questions or anything like that on Twitter, go to Unofficial Lounge on Twitter. Or Instagram, Unofficial Lounge. They'll pop right up. You'll see our bright, shiny logo.
Let me give you my take on what your original question was. I think that those people who have really the interest at heart will learn from the podcast. You have those that are just going to go out there and are jealous, or are going to try to find something wrong with the podcast or what everyone is saying, and say, hey, did you hear what he said? The same thing, like, did you see what so-and-so did when they messed up on the field? You're going to still have those people like that as well. But the ability that I think that you guys have created a venue for everybody to learn something from, those that want to learn will learn from it. It's there. All you got to do is take it. And like you said a moment ago, ask the right question. Don't just be asking a question to get somebody to say something. Ask something that's pertinent.
Sure.
But Cravon touched on it. Family is very important. Hey, in 2019, I flew 167,000 miles. I've flown none this year. But And
All
flying
first
those
class.
miles, you have to, I mean, you're gone every weekend. The football season for the NFL is 20 weekends right there by itself. Then you have the training camp. You got the camps you got to go to. I must have gone to 6 or 7 camps. Then I had the Pac-12 I had to do. I would venture to say that I was maybe only home from February to whenever we went back to the Tom Beard camp, Cravon. That would be sometime in March. Then you had another camp, and then you had 1 or 2 in April, 1 or 2 in May. Then you ended up in June with Gary. So you're talking about being away from family and home almost 2/3 of the year. Although you're talking about weekends, but when I get home on Sunday nights, I'm still doing football. And Monday I'm doing football. So, you have to get your family to adjust to that and to be able to come back and put up with all of the crap that we put up with. And like, I know all of you that are married, you've got a honey-do list. And when the season's over with, that list is grown. And it might take you a couple of months to get that list done, and then you rush to the last few stuff because the next season is coming back again. So family is the most, to be able to adjust the family to your schedule is extremely difficult to do.
Chuck, let me ask you a question when we talk about the honey-do
I got one more.
list.
Hold up, Cravon.
Hold on, no, wait. This goes along with what he was doing, his first year retiring. What weekend to the football season was your wife telling you need to get out the damn house since you ain't been there in 38 years?
We didn't get to the football season.
Yeah, the season is. Yeah, I was about to interrupt. The season probably didn't start yet. So.
No, the season didn't start. The pandemic had us locked down. We weren't really locked down 100%, but I was confined to the home. I found out that I not only got on my wife's nerves, but I even got on my own damn nerves.
That's right. That's right.
And I didn't think that was possible. But
so, it's possible. I kick myself out my own house.
I respect that. But my wife knew what I was doing and what I was still doing. I just wasn't traveling, but I was still doing the exact same thing. I just wasn't leaving the house doing it. I was doing it right here. So she left me alone, and it worked out fine. But yeah, we
so far
on each other's nerve. She wants something to do something, and they don't give a damn if you in the first quarter or you at halftime after the ball game. They want it done right then. So those are a few little things.
Been watching games all day, Chuck.
I got
Chuck,
some.
You've been watching games all day.
I got people peeking in my room right now, want me to go cook chicken.
Sure.
I'll be right there.
Wow.
But we talk about the things that we do, but family sacrifice a hell of a lot for us to bring that check home to them as well. So we can't forget about them, but it's very difficult to attain success and maintain status quo at home, the school, the kids and all that. You got to find time for those things, but you got to fit this into it as well. And my routine has been so long for 40 years doing the same thing to where she didn't know what the hell was going on when I was here. She'd wake up, I'm still in my bed. Well, hell, I was usually been going on an airplane in another city and said, I just landed, but now it's
We're
totally
live
different.
right now with Cravon, Unofficial Lounge, Chuck Stewart. Last wrap-up show of the season.
Wow. This dude cut in the middle of the show to go Instagram live. What the heck?
That was a commercial.
Right.
Wow. So
but Shanta, you're going to ask something. What was it?
Yeah. So my thing is, I hope people took out, like, we just don't show up on the field, like, to be what you accomplished, Chuck, what Cravon's at, and where me and Munchies want to go is this football is all year round, and that's not something that my friends who don't see me doing football, not understanding, people don't understand is we start this all year round to be knowledgeable of the rules. So you just don't start in the July or summer before the season start. You have to understand this year round, so you be so people understand and appreciate what you're doing if you want to move up. So that's what the concept for me was, also letting people know, hey, we do this all year round. It's just we don't pick up the book before the season starts. These dudes, even though if you don't like them as a fan, these guys do know their rules. And, you know, and to all the people who felt like Auburn got all the rules, I disagree with you. But, you know what I'm saying?
So that's Ashante, when we talk about that, what are you now? I know there's still a possibility of you working games in the spring, which we all hope you get some games and stuff in the spring. But what is going to be your preparation now to get ready for the 2021 fall football season?
Well, Cravon, that's a great question. That means I will cut back on my alcohol consumption, because during COVID, I became a great bartender to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Heavy-handed, heavy-handed son of a gun.
You know, when you don't have to drive anywhere, it's a great feeling. You know what I'm saying? So,
but you also had to approach this COVID season a lot different than most, because I mean, you're a single guy, working from home, so it's a lot different than those of us that have wife and kids at home. And to kind of break up the monotony for you, it was like you say, you kicked yourself out. You got tired of yourself and had to kick yourself out the house.
Yeah. When I want to go for a drive, I was like, I'm still with myself. I ain't like the person who I left with, so it's like I can't stand being around it. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was a challenge, and I think too, what helped was the network of friends, you guys, Chuck, Ben, you know what I'm saying, just people like just checking in on you, family checking in, how you doing, what you doing today different. So it was once, because we were supposed to go Skyak, SWAC, whatever was supposed to go, and everything shifted, and it's like you start getting discouraged about football, like it's not happening. So I'm gonna reset the clock, but like you said, having these weekly meetings and then just talking rules, watching plays, and that was the benefit, and just proving people wrong. Like, you know what, I can't gain weight because I know somebody waiting on me to slip. So everybody, I lost like 15 pounds. So if you're coming for my spot, it's gonna be hard, and I'm coming for somebody's. So that's all I got. So don't hurt yourself in the spring.
If everybody,
that's how I took it, Cravon. Like I just took it as an opportunity that I got to get better. I ain't getting no younger, and all you young boys, it's gonna be hard. That's what Steve Stremlin said too. It's my goal to train you to replace me, but it's gonna be hard for you to get me out the paint.
So don't forget, there's if you want to continue to get some tutelage, get some mentorship, the Rule 11 podcast. I mean, they talk rules like no others. They are probably the most knowledgeable show about rules that's out there for NCAA, that NCAA rule book. Make sure it's Dwayne, Tyler, two really good buddies of ours.
Hopefully they get Cravon on there. Cravon answer his rule question he always want to bring up on that.
I'm looking forward to that.
His little BS. So we pushing for Cravon. Nah, it wasn't the kicks. Cravon, doing like the illegal pass under 10 second.
It was a timing question. That's right. It was a timing question.
We don't want to bring that up on this show. We want Cravon to discuss that on their show. So
we're going to make sure that Rule 11, though, make sure those fellas, Dwayne and Tyler, catch them on Twitter. I believe it's Rule 11 officials.
Rule 11 officials on
Twitter.
So
if to continue this, we're going to take a couple months off, probably until Cinco de Mayo. Sometime Cinco de Mayo or April.
And we gonna have Chuck back. Chuck will be a little bit more mellow, and hopefully after Papa Do's, you know what I'm saying, we'll be able to talk.
Everybody.
But yeah. Like
first year, man.
Thank you.
How about this? Can we get applause for ourselves?
Hey, hold up.
We made it through
gotta hit
here,
a big
man.
time. No. We got to hit a big time moment, because we got to a point, because realistically, Monty, what I said, if we can get 7 episodes, we got a show, right? That's the number we said.
We blew past
If
that.
we get to 7, we good. You know what I'm saying? If we get 7 people, And now we got listeners. Hey, man, appreciate everybody that listens to the show, man. And make sure I change my attitude. If you can't, it takes time for you to work on your weight, but you can change your attitude overnight. So,
all right, everybody, we appreciate you guys being a part of the show and part of the family. Chuck, the Godfather, thank you again for being with us.
Since we didn't have one yet this show, so we had to make sure one for Chuck.
Hey, well, Chuck always big time. You know, it's a pleasure to always have him available to us the way he's been.
Let's go back to that Chuck big time experience, Craven. The first time I ever experienced the airport lounge was with Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. You changed my life forever. Let me know how I need to travel. Thank you, Chuck Stewart. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I will say the only reason I know how to travel because of football is because of Chuck Stewart. And it became two moments. The first time I went to a scrimmage and Chuck was there, I had a bag that you probably can fit probably about 15 different uniforms in. And he said, "Are you moving in today? What the hell is all that
for?" Did your girl kick you out? Did y'all break up?
You know, those things you didn't know anything about. And anyone else is coming up, they don't know anything about all of that. You know, they just going to make sure, well, in case I don't have this, I'm going to have an extra coat, an extra shirt on. You can't wear but one at a time. You know, but little things like that, you need someone to tell you about those things, man.
Oh, yes.
I appreciate
and I'm with Ashanti, though. The best advice yet as far as traveling is the lounges. If you're in the airport more than 5 times a year, get you a lounge pass. They come in handy.
And appreciate it.
The unofficial lounge, y'all. First year in the books. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you
to all the guests. Thank you to everyone who left messages on the website. Coop. Man, just thank you to everybody, man. Thank you
and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
And really
give us a rating. We need the ratings too.
We needed a couple ratings to boost this show. I think it's something different, something that we don't just talk about rules. We talk about the mentorship of life, field to life, unofficial lounge, y'all.
And laughing at life.
It's my pleasure. Anytime you need me, fellas, feel free. I'll be glad.
All right, everyone. The first season's over, and we're already working on that second season. We have the first person to ever get under Ashante's skin, Melissa Cannon, D1 basketball official.
Oh, so wait, did you Otis grow up together? No.
Well, ain't everybody from Alabama? Aren't they all related?
Everybody in Alabama don't know each other.
Y'all wasted a good part of the doggone show with this clown. We need this doggone turtle.
I'm about to go back to Ancestry and me after the show.
We've got Matt Jordan, Pac-12 umpire, giving out some sage wisdom.
The people who are going to tell you the truth are the people you need to get with on the regular.
Some of the other guests that we're going to have are going to take us way outside the officiating arena and on to the set in Hollywood and Atlanta, Georgia with Tyler Perry, Brandon Davis, screenwriter to the stars.
It's called The Line, yeah, and it's based off a book called Scandals of 51 by Charlie Rosen. And Charlie's a great guy. He was just featured actually in the Jordan documentary. I don't know if you guys saw that. I was still teaching when I got the Black Eyed Peas gig with Kevin, and then we did a good job on that. And then the Nike people saw it, and then pulled us in to write some LeBron James commercials.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Remember to please like and subscribe, as the Unofficial Lounge is available on all your podcast streaming outlets, including Apple, Google, Spotify, and Anchor. We look forward to you joining us next time in the Unofficial Lounge.
Don't forget to listen to the Rule 11 officials. They'll give you your officiating podcast fix while we're on a little bit of hiatus. See you soon.